Hi guys and welcome back to another video and another wrestling review. Well, Daniel, this is your NXT review. So Ash thoughts, but I do from from obviously with this week's episode. I was about to say weeks, but sorry for my mistake, guys. But yeah, we start off with the opening for our over for Amy Ajare sees Emmy's victory over he Saints at Dead Joe. And he spoke about how NXT needed the role or how Ricky was a fairly weak champion and his victory was a foul, which basically out comes Saints and Saints actually. He says the score's tied up on each. I'm next in line because I've got a rematch. Um, I've got a rematch. As outcomes to on Evans, he says to the Saints, I actually want my New Year's evil shot tonight. Saints eventually he steps aside, Oba agrees, and then lays on the main event. Your usual format, are take um, your usual format are done in the episodic shows happens as usual. But then we move into the first contest of the night. Annie Jordan defeating um defeating Jordan Grace. Um, but and oh, that's been is actually a surprise because you think about if the salary they're paying Jordan Grace, you'd actually have thought that she got the victory here. But no, they gave it to Kiwani Jordan, and I have to actually say, guys, was a decent, was a decent, was a decent opening contest. Obviously, well, Leon Kiwani takes out the eggs and the ace of Jordan. Then you've got Jordan hitting a couple of super X's extra kill and he introduces a chair, but the entry gets killed up to notes. I she she eventually get uh, uh, um she she eventually gets back up after being holding the ring. Jordan's emptied to use the cheer on her, but Killarney then kicks out at Jordan. It kind of destroys the ringside barricade. Killarney rolls Jordan and 450 Ash. A very impressive 450, and that gets the victory. About one later on you see about later on you see yeah he'll get given her a pep talk in the or room to kind of console Jordan on another feet and yeah, actually, yeah, has actually been very prominent on NXT since her return from injury, which is always nice to see. But Jordan actually says I'm a real winner right now taking advice from a 16-year-old and yeah, Kira excellent. She says she's actually 20. Obviously, Jordan is obviously going to heel at some point. It was a very heel-ish sort of segment. Um, but then we'll make it to the debut of Shiloh O'Howe, who is in ends, who is in the men's FGM for Victor, and his opponent, um, was Exis Ing. Now, Ing has been doing a lot of crossover in the TNA sort of partnership, so we haven't actually seen him on NXT properly for the past number of episodes. So yeah, it was good to see him, but this was us all about getting Shiloh over, and yeah, and I have to actually say Shiloh, Shiloh, kind of looks like Brave. I am ask it's a Roman backstage after Kelly. He can Kid asks him, "Are you ready?" He says he's hyped up for his debut, and smash. I'm gonna smash all X's. And you get the whole story about the lost Earth. You get the whole story on the lost Earth that kinda actually acts into the mouth guard a bit. And there was a slight watch during the match I'll get to in a minute. But was Shiloh's entrance him I think is a bit shite to be honest. I mean for aren't the greatest, but Jesus Christ, I don't think this him actually matches up with the character Shiloh Hill is trying to convey in the vignettes. I mean, the theme is like very generic, and again, as I've said, it's not very representative of Hill's character. You see you see him and get a few get a few but sort of offense and then he on Shiloh House I've got to the factual if alls so this is kind of the this was kind of the orchardist uh, in your but it of it then hits a couple it then hits a couple of explosions of was lines and then and he hits a jumping net break or and he gets a bit of a s- um kind of your sort of standard sort of copy and paste Joe Bella or sort of Debbie on WWE episodic programming. So I'm not gonna offer too much of a critique here, but Stabble she's him as a character on the show, but I'd actually say can you change the entrance theme? It doesn't really correspond with of the character. But yeah. Um, so on to the next segment. You obviously you obviously you see um it another oh uh, sure open and our open challenge she so she cuts up her oh and she actually he says that this is like Evan and who gives and who gives more than a girl. I'm here to show an open challenge to everyone in the world. Okay, I remember the okay, I'm gonna be the actual on some girl. I'm on a I've an outcomes the majority though or you have obviously and yeah he'll take her by surprise traps her in the traps her in the camera and obviously and they're all hacks but the L hadn't hadn't or also is an unsanctioned tap out. She escapes with the she escapes with the North American um in oh, and yeah, that's the end of that segment. Eva Summon, Eva instead of me in the no, no, I forgot. Oh, sorry. Ethan aged and comes out and it's a fantastic or or that says he's gonna be the account and that'll fall in the void that John Cena owns. Eve is been victorious against ENA Wrestle has triple A Wrestle as he holds the triple M X tag team championships and he says I'm the greatest no of American champion and he's ever seen that this is the era of ego the C Nation era with the pull is by the but the ego era and there's nobody that can stop him so tune and but then you see only D'Angelo was sort of tight drawn up, and it goes all the arc in there. You know, he's behind Ethan Age under and anticipating anticipating us or and he and 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 then the Angelo also or sees um or sees them in all of his of yeah on even age as if to say I'm your next challenger, although he did the same although he did the same to Javon Evans at Deadpool. And so it's a very sort of confusing um situation because he's done it to Javon Evans and now he's done it at Ethan Age. So yeah, it'll be interesting. But then you see, backstage, it's on. You, have got Ethan Page coming, and then to Ava's office. Ava summons the Iron Survivor Challenge competitor. Also, you've got so eight card you've got and option you've got Hendry. She announces she announces that the order the will be and I was on order so order of them will be in a triple threat match. So she says she's going to book that for next episode. You've got Ethan Page complaining about Tony D'Angelo attacking him, and he says it's an unsafe environment. Or as he said, as he said previously, he had this all taken off him by Master Girl, and now as as an outrage, you see you see obviously when I was hold up the stop talking sign and everybody including you young and Hawks actually uh, is actually passing themselves often obviously and Hux's reaction um kind of went viral. As he's the heel, because he's obviously a member of the Hawks. So obviously that shouldn't have happened, but it was a very fun sort of comedic sort of situation. Eva says, well, that's too and Ethan Page the you didn't really see Hendry and Slade obviously the action as that is kinda tilted off camera but he kinda did something that the camera didn't uh, up because as the two of them um as the two of them had to that sort of rebel sort of half one on but yeah very interesting segment obviously obviously the next match obviously the next match of the obviously the next match of the night obviously the next match and then I had them all already instant killer here kill them up or against them so a sort of baby face versus a sort of baby face versus is so actually soon you had all hit the soul snap on Lansing killer here and gets a bit a very hard fought match between both of them. I'm not gonna go or but I enjoy both of them wrestle. Oh, you see area um up in the up in this and um up in the stands as opposed to inside. She kinda heads for the egg. So as she's so back up the victory, you see the two of them are on have a conversation in the car park area. Um, she um she says to so hold up a kind of on Remark on Saturday night's main event. The area then responds with the usual and then and so actually it says yeah, more than anything it's go out and treat ourselves and the area's kind of a lot and so I think you'll get a huge so I think you'll get a huge on that Saturday night's main event for the area. Then you see the then you see the 1,000 amount and uh, JACJ in actually says I'm just here to congratulate and do on a big iron survival victory. She says that she's not all panicked about others candles and you feel for them on that's only be it's gonna be the next uh, and the rain obviously obviously and do the and responsible uh, um she she is under the organ she's happy and she's aware of it because she then actually says nobody expected you to beat Stephanie with her and nobody expects me to defeat you for the NXT um, and championship the NXT um, and championship is coming home to the ring. You see, and that kind of kicks off a fight, but you know, three a 3-1 filler runs Ken and or and obviously 3-1 influence stand Oh, and yeah, and I forgot to actually mention that Tatum actually um and that Tatum actually he what's um what's a hello oh s- 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 in that she's not finished as she says that she's going to have that she's going to have her ends and on are to kind of take here and now in Sean's ears and obviously she has had all of them and but on the other hand, she has a chance. Yes, it is a W action figure, and I thought that was a nice, so a nice sort of but and a nice and what so we have another uh, um and then we get to the and then we get to the another and Javon Evans actually up a on he had to cut on a few times. He had the frogs. He had the frogs. Oh, gosh. He then had he then but after it was over for on the announce table. Oh, Ricky Saints comes out to cost the that I shot and over made and had some of the fall from her ace. He then had some of the fall from her ace and then over family ends and the and it gives the and it gives Ricky since it's healed him and Jill on have been very supportive of each other but that'll set up a thing or a new is evil, and I'm sure that'll continue and to stand into the of or an April, and yeah, I give it an 8 out of 10. I enjoy NXT the majority of occasions, and this was a pretty good, this was a pretty good episode. The only sort of only sort of the scenario I didn't enjoy was the oh, taking another oath off, because that was a kind of ease that didn't actually uh, happen in this episode, but Eva then confirmed, during the show that your hair would actually get a title shot, but it just actually means that we have to kind of wait for that title match. So you so you other than that, and obviously the show or how they be I enjoyed that. Shy only it's some new entrance, maybe music, because as I'm really not a fan of that theme. It's a very generic and very Def Rap. Oh, I'm not a fan of Def Rap. Oh, at all, really. The only thing that the Fred Pub will have got right is obviously, yeah, was obviously the other pillar is but obviously that's because I'm emotional, and I are doing the vote was for the and yeah. They kind of make the song a lot better, and Shiloh House is very generic, like the rest of the Death Rebel. But that's personal taste. Remember to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you very soon.